Welcome, college basketball fans, to the Full Court Press Podcast with LT and Sammy D. This is the podcast that brings you legendary stories from college basketball's golden era and dives in deep with a current analysis of today's game. Get ready for the most energetic and entertaining college basketball podcast around. Let's get it.
Hello, and we're back. Another, what are we even doing? Let's see. Full Court Press, a college basketball coaches show. I almost said College Basketball Weekly, powered by the Full Court Network. Luke Taylor here. Sam is on vacation. We got a really good one. I was really excited to get this gentleman on because one of my favorite movies is a movie called Glory Road. And you obviously have some ties to that, being the head coach of the program. But don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever they call it, X, where you can. Subscribe to our Substack page and follow us all on the Full Court Network. So we got head men's basketball coach of UTEP, Joe Golding. Welcome to the Full Court Press, Coach.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully it's, well, you're in El Paso. It's probably hot as hell right now.
It is hot. We've actually had some rain here over the last 2 weeks, which we hadn't seen that in a long, long time. So that's been a great surprise, but a very welcome surprise. So it's been good. Actually, good timing for me too. I planted some new grass in the backyard, so welcome the rain. But yes, it's the hot days of the summer down here.
Yeah. So you said you've had a couple weeks of practice. How's that been going? How's the team look? I mean, you're coming off maybe not the best season you wanted. You had a winning season again. You're in the Conference USA, which I would love to talk preseason predictions, but I think all coaches can agree they're trying to figure out who's on their roster right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We're coming off a year we were 15-5 at one point, and everything was moving in the right direction. And we did not have a good February and March. And obviously we've worked really hard this spring and summer to recruit a new team. Obviously, in the portal era of today, we've got 10 new guys, and that's just become the norm. So we've had a lot of work to do that. We've also made some staff additions. So we've brought in some new staff. So it's been a busy spring and summer for us, but we're excited about where this program's headed. We've got 10 new guys. Like I said, we've been with them for 3 weeks. We took last week off. We're back to work this week on week 4. And so we're learning each other and they're learning about us and this program and this city and this university. And so, again, it's kind of the new era of college athletics, right? You start over each summer with a new team.
Yeah, but I mean, for you brought some players back, which is huge because you're not seeing that as much. You might see 1 or 2 players come back. I mean, you brought a handful.
Yeah, we got a handful of guys back, and all those guys we brought back have played a role in this program before. So that's obviously a big plus. They know what we're about. They know how we do things, and so it's kind of easier when you're introducing drills or new concepts. Those guys can jump to the front of the line. I'll also say this, Luke. I don't know how everybody else is doing it, but when you recruit 10 new guys, we've also spent a lot of time this summer getting to know our new players. Right? Mm-hmm. It's not like I think you can be just hell bent. This is the way we're going to do things offensively and defensively anymore. Right? When you're bringing 10 new guys, you got to get to know your team, your personnel, what they do well, and that's what the summer's about. There's obviously some things we believe in that win games that we're not going to get off track on. Those are important parts and pillars of our program, but we also have to learn how our new team plays together and the strengths of this new team, and then try to add to that and work on those things as well.
How difficult is it for you to kind of rationalize knowing a lot of your team? No offense, I mean, this is everybody. All your colleagues are going through to a certain extent. How difficult it is to build culture. I mean, what does culture mean to you now in kind of today's college basketball landscape?
It's very difficult, right? I think that's something we did very well at Abilene Christian, right? And we had guys in our program that just carried it over, and the program almost ran itself, right? And I think there's certain programs in college basketball, Houston being one, that still kind of has that. You see the success that they've had because of that. But it's very difficult because you're starting over with day one. Now, having some retention helps. To your point, anytime you can have retention in your program, those guys understand, again, what we're about and what we're trying to do. It helps. But yes, it is difficult. You have to attack it day one. We don't spend a lot of time talking about it. We just try to say, hey, if Luke walks walked into our basketball practice today and watched us practice, he ought to be able to identify what our culture is. Now, I'm hoping that day one, if you walked in and then at the end of the summer you walked in, you would have two different thoughts of what our culture is, right? Because it's something we're trying to build. Obviously,
Yeah.
we want some dogs in our programs too, man. So I like that, man. We don't like
Hear my dogs barking like freaking crazy.
Rottweilers. Yeah, we like some Rottweilers. We like some dogs. I like those sound like some hungry dogs back there.
Oh my God. It's like, what is going on here? I'm texting my high school daughter to shut the dogs up. Hey, stop it. Oh my God. It's just like, I'll send you some.
That's a good sign. Hey, that's a good sign because we talk about in our programs, we always want some hungry dogs. We don't like pet store dogs, right?
No.
We like street dogs. Those sound like some street dogs right there.
Oh my God. And I got kids too. I mean, I got a whole team for you, coach, if you need it. So let me ask you something. I've had these kind of conversations. How difficult has non-conference scheduling been? I mean, do you still have dates open?
Oh yeah. I mean, we still got to get 4 or 5 right now. We're still looking, and so it's basketball scheduling has always been difficult. No, we've always been the sport. Football seems like they plan ahead 10 years and everything's set. Basketball has always been difficult, but now with the portal, it's made it even more difficult because nobody will schedule it until the portal is closed, until you sign your team, until they know who they're playing. And so, and then, obviously the guarantee games are getting harder and harder to get. Especially if you're in quad 2, the higher majors, they power, what do you call them, P4s, they're playing quad 1s and quad 4s now. And so it's made it extremely difficult. And we're going to 20 games this year in conference play, so that will help a little bit. We only have to get 11, not 13. But yes, it's always been a work in progress and still working on that as we speak.
Yeah. How difficult was it for you to transition from a Division II program to a Division I program with Abilene Christian? I mean, you're seeing that more and more, whether it's St. Thomas is going from Division III to Division I or what have you. How difficult was that?
Yeah, it was extremely difficult. The hardest part for our program and myself was back then you couldn't play in any postseason play. So the Southland would not even allow us to play in the postseason tournament. You're seeing some programs now, or some conferences now at least allow them to play for the conference championship in the tournament. Although they can't go to the NCAA tournament, they can still play in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So the hardest part for us was you get to mid-February and everybody's playing for seeding, or they're playing for buys, or they're all playing for something, and we were playing for nothing. So it made it extremely difficult, obviously to keep your team motivated to play. And then obviously building the program for 4 years where you couldn't play in postseason play. We got the opportunity our 4th year to play in postseason. We played Drake in a postseason game, and I thought that really helped us. The following year, we were able to go to the NCAA tournament, but it gave us the opportunity to play in a win or go home type atmosphere and game. And so I thought that really helped our program. But yeah, it was tough. Transitioning from D2 to Division I they don't make it easy for you. It's extremely difficult. And obviously in today's times now, we didn't have the portal back then. So we recruited a ton of freshmen and kind of brought them along with us and grew up with them, through the transition. You can't do that anymore, right? So it's probably even more difficult now, but it's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. How nice was it beating Texas?
Unbelievable. When you think about that story, and that story will get told.
Now, did you grow up a Texas fan?
You know what? My wife went to Texas. I've always kind of been a bandwagon Texas fan. I'll support them a little bit in football and basketball. Obviously, Coach Beard's a really, really close friend of mine. And, he coached there at Texas for a time period there. And so, but Texas has always been, in my opinion, the flagship university of our state. And so, obviously, I wouldn't say I was a fan of Texas, but obviously, was proud of when Texas did well. They represented us. And so, but yeah, it was an incredible night. When you think of the story, we have 4,000 students. They have 50,000 students. I don't know what their athletic budget was, but it was a hell of a lot more than what ours was. And so, to have that night, and what made it special too is, COVID was going on. So when we won that game, when we got back to the hotel, it wasn't like you got sidetracked with so many people and so many things going on. We got to have that moment when we got back to the hotel with our team. And it was a really, really neat moment, something I'll remember for the rest of my life. And obviously that team will get celebrated on that campus for the rest of their lives, and rightfully so.
Yeah. Did you make sure that your wife wasn't wearing any burnt orange under like her average?
I darn sure did. Absolutely. She was rooting for me, no question, but I definitely gave her a hard time that week leading up to the game for sure.
Yeah, that I remember that was pretty amazing. And it's unfortunate because I feel like the NCAA tournament is going away from that just with what have you. We don't need to get controversial on it, but it's just there's less upsets, and that's what makes the NCAA tournament so great is games like that, like the David versus Goliath, or in your case 30, 40, 50 years ago Texas Western.
Yes.
Now that is obviously the school you're at is UTEP and what have you. How cool is that story?
Yeah, it's awesome, and being able to meet some of those players firsthand, it's been an incredible opportunity for me and something that I don't take for granted. The crazy thing now, Lou, is a lot of these kids haven't seen that movie, right? So we make sure that we educate them on that movie and and tell them the story. And when we're recruiting kids, we tell them to watch it. We obviously make our teams watch it here, and just for them to understand the history of where they're playing and what's happened and here at this university. For a long time, for over, I guess, almost 40, 50 something years, we were the only team in Texas to win a national championship. Obviously Baylor won it. So now it's us and Baylor, but it's just, it puts us in a unique group of colleges and universities and basketball programs across the country. But Coach Haskins, everywhere you go, you hear about Coach, and rightfully so. And they love basketball around here because of Coach. And because of his wife, Mary, who just recently passed away, unfortunately. But they were an incredible family. They did so much for this city, for this university, and then the players and the stories, that come out of it. It's just Willie Cager was somebody, that was really cool. And he would come in here and meet me my first 2 years on the job every day. And he had a great smile, just a great passion about him. We would tell our players stories. And obviously, with Mary's passing here recently, they had her funeral about a month ago. Some former players were able to come back, and so it's just you're touching history, man, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I've probably watched that movie like 12 times, and it's just crazy. Like it's just, just with what was going on in the world and what he did and the courage it took just for him and all the players is remarkable, and I just hope people understand it. I know people understand it in El Paso, but just in the world, because it's such a great story. So Conference USA, I feel like you look at a handful of conferences. We love all basketball, but I feel like Conference USA really doesn't get the attention it deserves. Is that a fair assessment in that? I believe you guys are moving, but tell me a little bit about Conference USA.
Yeah, it's been an incredible league to play in. We obviously are making the move to the Mountain West the following year. It's something that geographically just fits our university much better. It's something I know that our fans and our city are excited about to bring back some old rivalries. But Conference USA has been an incredible basketball conference, and I agree with you 100%. I don't think we have the TV deal that some of these other, what you would consider some mid-major conferences has, so people don't understand and see us on an every night basis or educate on our league. But just go back. Before some of those teams went to the American, that one year, Florida Atlantic made the Final Four. North Texas and UAB played in the championship game of the NIT. And another team won the other postseason tournament. I forgot, but we had three postseason winners that year. This year, I think our league was ranked as high as maybe 8th, when it finished up. It was just an incredible league. There's great players in this league. There's great coaches in this league. There's tough environments to play in. It does not get the respect that it deserves. It's a tremendous basketball league. And it's something that I know our coaches, we take a lot of pride in what we've been able to do over the last 3 or 4 years in moving this league up to be one of the better conferences in men's basketball. And so, I know it's something that the conference has invested in over the last couple of years. And since Florida Atlantic's run to the Final Four, this conference has made it in today's world, it's football, and I understand it. I get it. Football, it moves the needle. But this conference has invested in men's basketball, and you can see what they've done. Now, obviously, I don't know a whole lot about the Mountain West, but the Mountain West, they've invested basketball. And so that's an investment that our university is excited about. And I know that it's a league that when we get there in a year, we'll be excited about as well. But Conference USA has been a tremendous league for us to be a part of. It's something that obviously I have a ton of respect for.
Yeah. We've watched. I watched a little bit. I mean, I'm sure you're going to miss Daniel Bacho.
Yeah.
Bacho. I heard Coach Hester said he's got another 5 years of eligibility.
Well, I was getting a little concerned because it seemed like everybody at Liberty, these guys get 6, 7 years at Liberty. So at least I was worried Bacho was going to get his 6th or 7th. But I told Talbot the other day that's the best gift we all got in our league. this
oh my God!
Done.
Who's the one kid from Liberty? It escapes me right now. I feel like he's been there 100 years. He's like 6'9". From Liberty.
Liberty's got a lot of good players. Richie's done a tremendous job with that program, and they've obviously won our league this past year, and so won the tournament. And so he's done a tremendous job, and they got a bunch coming back. They'll will be really, really good again this year.
Yeah. How difficult was it to leave your alma mater?
Yeah, very hard decision, right? Very difficult. It was something that happened pretty fast. And quickly when Rodney left to go take a job with Coach Beard on his staff there. And I grew up in Midland, Texas, which is about 4 or 5 hours from El Paso. I understood UTEP. I knew the history of UTEP. I knew of, from Coach Haskins to Coach Gillespie to Doc Sadler to Tony Barbie to Tim Floyd, obviously Rodney Terry. I knew what this program had been about and the history of this program. And it was just something that I thought this program kind of needed a jolt of energy. And I thought it was a great opportunity for me, being a West Texas guy, to come here. And so it was more of a basketball move, than a personal move. I had spent 20 years of my life at Abilene Christian. I was a student there. I was an assistant there. Then I was a head coach. I'd taken him to the NCAA tournament twice.
Mm-hmm.
Not me personally, our teams.
Right. I know.
It wasn't me, but I just felt that we had done pretty much everything that we could do there. And I was excited for a new challenge, and obviously knew the history and tradition of UTEP basketball. And so wanted to be a part of it. And but yes, it was very difficult though decision. Abilene Christian raised me. I spent again 20-something years of my life on that campus, and so it's a big part of who I am.
Yep. So we do this thing called the shot clock. Sam usually introduces it, but I'm going to do it since Sam's obviously not here. It's brought to you by no one. It's sponsored by no one, but it'll make you think. And I'm sure we'll get I've never been asked that before, and you might not even answer, but you got to answer everything. So first question I have for you, and then some are one-word answers. If you've got a story, have at it. The podium's yours. One word to describe UTEP.
Family. I think that's UTEP, and I think that's also the city of El Paso. UTEP is the only flagship university here in this area, and we take a lot of pride in everything we do here, both academically and athletically.
Awesome. Assuming Texas was your biggest win, what is your second most memorable win?
That's a great. Maybe our first Division I win at Abilene Christian. We beat Central Arkansas, and it took till February to get it. I didn't think we were going to get it. Year one of the transition wasn't easy. We were starting a 6'4", 5-man from Idalou, Texas, Riley Payne. Man, God bless Riley. He's a dentist now in Lubbock, Texas, and a great human being, a great person. And I didn't know if we were ever going to get our first Division I. But Central Arkansas, a funny story on that too. We hit a layup at the buzzer, and they called goaltending, and they had to review it for like 5 minutes. And thank God they stuck with the call and gave us the win.
Oh my God! Was that the biggest? Is that the biggest thing you noticed? Just the height difference between Division II and Division I? Back then?
Yeah, I think height and athleticism. Obviously the physicality of the game was a big jump.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, toughest place to coach in Conference USA.
Oh man, there's a lot of tough places. Obviously, New Mexico State is a tough place for us. It's a rival game. It's 40 minutes away, and so every time we go in there, it's a hostile environment. So that's a tough place to play. I'd probably say for us personally, New Mexico State. But there's a lot of great home environments in our league, which makes our league so good.
Yeah. What would you say the toughest place to coach you've ever coached in non-conference USA? What's the one you're just like, man, I never want to go back there again?
Oh man, I don't know. We've coached at a lot of great. I've had the
Yeah.
opportunity and been fortunate on that. I'll tell you a funny story. Year one of that transition, we played Iowa, and Iowa beat us by about 40. They pressed us till about a minute left in the game, which I don't know why they were doing it, but and I'll never will forget this. It was packed in there, but it wasn't very loud. They were obviously probably pretty bored. But we got to the airport we got to the airport the next morning, and this lady, she had to be in her 70s or 80s, came up to me and at the airport, she said, "Are you the coach of that Abilene Christian team that played Iowa last night?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, I am. Joe Goldie, nice to meet you." She said, "Well, we were at the game. We're season tickets holders, and I just want to let you know we're going to keep you in our prayers the rest of this year." I said, "Ma'am, I appreciate it." So year one of transition, man, that's not for the faint of heart. It's one of the toughest things I've ever been through.
So you transitioning conferences will be a piece of cake when you really look at all your experience.
100%.
All right. What team led Conference USA in most called team fouls last year?
Probably us.
You were fifth with 17.0 fouls called per game.
See, that's good to know, Luke, because I've been telling these. Everybody thinks we foul all the time because of how we defend, but I don't think we foul, right?
You and every other coach thinks that.
I think Hooten at New Mexico State fouls all the time. I don't know. Let me think about. Oh, golly.
If I say the name, if you don't get it, you won't be surprised, because that's how the head coach used to play when he played in the early 2000s.
Ballard?
Kennesaw State.
Petaway, yeah. And he thinks they never foul either. Petaway. Yeah.
18.7.
I'll have to use that because he thinks we foul all the time. So when I see him this year, I'm going to make sure I remind him of that.
Guess which team the officials like the best in your conference? 13.5 team fouls called per game.
Got to be Liberty.
Liberty. Yep.
Yeah.
They love Richie McKay.
They do love Richie. And Richie doesn't think they foul those 13 times either. I can promise you that. Well, but hey, I'll tell you what, Richie and both Petaway, they've done a great. I was really impressed with Kennesaw State in our league this year. He's done a tremendous job, and obviously has a lot coming back this year too. And so credit to both those guys.
Yeah, I'm excited for your conference. All right, two last questions. Give me your funniest recruiting story.
Oh man, we've got so many. I don't know. I can't even think. Yeah, you've been in this business long enough, right? Nothing surprises you. Nothing's funny, but recruiting is obviously entertaining from time to time. It's also the most stressful thing we do. But the stories are endless on that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Last question. They're doing a Hollywood movie about your life. It's a 3-part question. What is the title of the movie? Who would play you in the movie? And what would be the theme song of that movie?
All right. So we have kind of in our inner circle group of coaches, we kind of have a saying called Every Man's Journey. So I would title the book Every Man's Journey.
Okay.
Every one of us is kind of on a different journey.
Okay.
I love Billy Bob Thornton. I don't know if you watched Landman lately, but
Billy Bob Thornton's the man.
Billy Bob Thornton fan, which I heard season 2 is in the works.
Okay.
But everybody says I look like Jim Carrey from time to time, so maybe one of those two.
Okay.
And then
2 complete opposites, Coach.
2 completely opposite characters. I would prefer Billy Bob Thornton. And then what was the soundtrack?
The song. What's the theme song?
Oh, theme song.
Like, what song best describes you? If you had a walkout song, like, what would it be?
Threadbare Gypsy Soul. Who sings a little. It'd have to be something that maybe a little Pat Green, maybe a little Willie Nelson, a little Josh. Yeah, I don't know. A Texas country artist. Song.
Okay. Well, you won nothing. You got nothing. We probably made you look into your score a little bit. But no, we really appreciate it. Last question Sam always asks. What can you say to the kind of UTEP faithful, the Miners fans, the alumni, the boosters? What can they expect this offseason, this next year from you guys?
Yeah, we're going on year 5 here. So, we played in the championship game 2 years ago. We've won 18, 18, and 20 here in 3 of our 4 years. We've had some success here. We've got this thing, in my opinion, kind of turned and back to winning basketball. But we've got to do a better job in conference play, Luke. That's something that we've we got to do a better job in February and March in conference play. And it's something that 2 years ago we couldn't win on the road. This year we struggled at home. Winning at home. And so I know our fans are, itching to get back to the NCAA tournament. That's where this program belongs. It belongs, it's hard to get in the NCAA tournament. I don't think people realize that in one bid league, especially as good as our league is, how difficult that is. But we got to start competing for championships, right? We got to put ourselves every year where we're competing for championships, and that's where this program belongs. And that's something we're working tirelessly each and every day, to get to. But we've got a new team. I like our team. They're working hard. And, I'm having a lot of fun with them. We've had that group had been together for 2 years. So this is a completely new group, new personalities, again, new faces and new names. And so we're having a lot of fun. It's re-energized me, and we're off to a good summer, and we just got to continue to work.
I've got some great advice, and then we'll close it. Since you struggle 1 year playing away, 1 year playing at home, you should schedule 32 neutral sites.
Well, hey, I've got an ops job open right now. If you want it, man, it sounds like you can handle scheduling for me. Be
Are you paying more than they used to? That I almost got a job offer from one 25 years ago, $22,000 a year.
It's a little bit more than that, but we're trying to save some of that money on the salary to put back in ref share. So I got to cut you a little bit to ref share.
We'd love to have you.
We all gotta get these payers played first, Luke.
Oh God, it's crazy. But Coach, you're going to stick on for one more second. Thanks, Coach. We really appreciate it. Check out UTEP, man. It's going to be fun. Conference USA. If you never watch Conference USA, you need to. There's so many great teams. There's so many talented coaches, so many great players. We're really excited for UTEP basketball. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Check us out on all social media sites for Full Court Network. And we'll be back next week on the Full Court Press, a college basketball coaches show.